because I had hit the ceiling basically in Impact. And I had an awesome time at NWA for that little bit that we were able to do it before the pandemic hit. But I knew that I needed to be, although I'm gonna tell you, during the pandemic, 2020, I remember having the conversation with my girlfriend and just being like, I gotta accept that this thing's just over. And like, nobody's taking me now at 37 or whatever it was at the time. And I just gotta make whatever money I can in any of these other companies. And I had been given Triple H's email and his phone number just before the pandemic started. And I was like, well, what am I going to do with this? I have no relationship with this guy. Like, I mean, like we knew of each other and like I had spoken to him like once or twice the first time I was at NXT, but like I didn't have a relationship where it was like I could just hit him up.
Yeah.
And so my relationship was with talent relations, and I'm like, well, I'm probably going to get heat if I go over their heads, so I'm just not going to mess with it. But then when I was at the point where I'm like, well, this is, this ride's probably over, I was like, well, screw heat. Who gives a shit about heat? I'm messaging. So I was like, hey, look, this is what I've been doing for the last year. Here's pictures, here's videos, whatever. And then I just let talent relations know, hey, look, by the way, I sent this email, whatever, just giving you a heads up. And then that's where it was just kind of like, well, we got to talk about some things, whatever.
Did Triple H email you back?
No. So we went through the
proper channels.
Yes. Yeah. But I have to imagine that maybe I got the attention. I don't know. Or who knows, maybe he didn't even see it and it was just me letting TR know that, hey, I did this, and then us kind of having the back and forth of, it's been 3 years of start and stop, and like you said you were coming, then you weren't, then you were, then you weren't. And I'm like, I understand that. There were personal reasons for this, that, whatever. I needed to take the money, but now I'm ready to take the bet. I need to do it now. If I'm ever going to do it, I got to do it now. And so they seem to be kind of appreciative of my approach and my attitude in that regard. And when we came in, I guess head writer at NXT, Johnny Russo, seemed to be familiar with my stuff that I'd done and had seemed more than willing, very actually, dare I say, a little bit excited at the idea of like being able to use me because he was familiar with my stuff. Like I came in and had my first meeting with Road Dogg, sent me a text message a few days before I got in, and they wanted to meet with me. It was me and Road Dogg and Johnny Russo, and we sat down in a room, and that was immensely helpful because I'm a quiet guy for the most part. I know it shocks people, but like, especially if I don't know people, and for me to be able to just sit down with those guys and just sit and bullshit, but also kind of talk about the creative direction, it just made me so much more relaxed, and I didn't feel like I was fighting the system coming in from day one, which is what it felt like the first time around.
Yeah.
And it's tough to not still get in that mindset just being in this business at all. Like I'm always feeling like I'm fighting the system. But that helped really ease a lot of things there where I'm like, okay, I feel wanted. The first time around, I was not wanted at all. And so there was a lot of times where I'm like, why am I here? But at the same time, I'm like, well, I'm going to keep fighting to do this. I'm going to make them want me. And I think I made a lot of people want me, but not the main guy who was given the reports.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot. And so we were able to come into NXT and I could just roll in and just be comfortable and do my thing. God, I just got lost because I don't know where the hell we were coming from or where we were going.
You're the definition of if you give me an inch, I'll take a mile. Like, just give me an opportunity. I did not mean it like that.
Yeah.
I have kept you here far too long, by the way.
Have.
I feel like we're just getting
just
going.
taking advantage of my niceness.